Hey there, I am beyond excited to introduce you to Haleigh Jinkins. She's been a part of the Global Grant Writers Collective for about 8 months. Before joining, Haleigh was the development coordinator for a nonprofit serving adult sex trafficking survivors in Georgia. She joined because she wanted to solidify her grant writing side hustle and help other nonprofit organizations. Since joining, she has met amazing nonprofit leaders in her community and that are doing boots on the ground work, and she's gained 8 new clients. I know you're going to love this conversation because I super enjoyed being able to share a little bit of Haleigh's journey. So let's dive in. Welcome, Haleigh. I'm so excited that you are here to talk to us a little bit about your grant writing journey. I'm just thrilled that you're here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. Okay, so my husband heard this on a podcast the other day, and I've just been constantly ruminating on it. And basically, it was talking about how we're on these hamster wheels, and then often when we make this career change, it's when we get off the hamster wheel and we can breathe for a second, and then we move into this new space of being. And so I'm wondering for you, what led you to get off the hamster wheel of your former life?
Yes, so I think for me, I have been professionally writing grants for about 4 years. And so in my previous role, it's almost career adjacent to what I'm doing now. So while I really enjoyed my former role and really gained a lot of experience, I think while I was there, I realized I can leverage the skill of grant writing and help so many other wonderful nonprofit organizations in my community. So I think that's really what inspired me and motivated me to do my own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Were there other factors that, some people mention burnout, living in the nonprofit space for a long time can be hard. Was there any of that that has kind of shifted now that you've kind of entered a new hamster wheel, right? We're kind of always on certain hamster wheels, but you've at least jumped off and got onto a different one. Did other things change beyond the ability to serve more, which I love?
Yes, I think, my confidence grew in myself, and I was able to, figure out how to manage multiple nonprofits' needs. And, there was a little bit of growing pains, and there still are lessons that I'm learning. But I think, and like you said, it's like jumping from one wheel to another. But I think being able to have that self autonomy and decide, what is my capacity rather than being at one place specifically and knowing the ins and outs of this organization, but being able to work with multiple organizations. And I think doing that on my own, kind of on my own terms, mostly on my own terms, doing my own business has been really rewarding.
Oh, it's so cool. So thinking back to when you first joined the collective, what did success look like for you?
So I think, when I first joined the collective, I was part-time at my previous role and part-time grants consulting. And I think finally I took that was when I was ready to take that leap. I had read Meredith's book. I had scoured all of the free resources that y'all publish on your website, watched YouTube videos, watched unicorn spotlight videos, and
Yeah,
it's just
full circle.
I know. So it's just really information gathering. And so I think in the beginning, when I decided to take the leap to form my own consulting firm and also join the collective simultaneously, I think I had several goals, but one of those were financial goals. And so I thought to myself, and it's so surreal to look back and see, I was writing on this whiteboard that's behind me. I had no furniture in here and was just if I can make as much as I'm making at my part-time role, revenue wise, if I can cover my business revenue with my business expenses, if I can cover my business expenses every month, that's my form of success. And at this point, I was just looking at my profit and loss statement, and I've made over double in the last 8 months than I had part in my previous role. So I would say that it's just so surreal to look back at that. And I would say that that was how I defined success in the beginning.
Ah, I love that. Okay, well, it sounds like some swag gifts should be coming your way. So you better fill out that
I've
win
got my
survey.
mouse pad right here, so I
Oh, you
mean,
gotta show us when you
yeah,
show
yeah,
us.
yeah. It's right here. Let me move some stuff. Right
Oh,
here.
I love that. Oh, I love
So
it so very
beautiful.
much. It's so fun. And it's so bright. I love when my mouse is over it.
It
Yeah,
honestly brings joy to my desk.
I feel the same way. Oh, I love that. So, what does success actually, let me back up. I would love to talk about the transition from part time to consulting, but also the transition to maybe full time at your nonprofit role to part time. So, is this something you were able to negotiate with your former nonprofit?
Yes, thankfully, I had such wonderful colleagues and just very supportive of my journey. And I think from the very beginning, I said, they would ask me, what do you want to do long term? And I thought to myself, well, eventually, when I become of retirement age or whatever, I want to do grants consulting for nonprofits. And so they knew that that was like my long term goal. And so I kind of started to do it part time for other nonprofits. And, being in the nonprofit world, you kind of just pick up different organizations along the way. And a lot of them overlap. But I think they knew that that was my long term goal. They were not surprised when I told them, okay, actually, this is what I want to do. And so they were very supportive and, just very welcoming of me being able to go down to part time in my role, and definitely supported me doing my own thing.
That's
So
so cool. That's
yeah,
it is such a well, one, there's immense amount of privilege in that, which I do want to acknowledge, but there's also hard work, and you demonstrated your ability to be able to do both, and I want to give you kudos for that. Was the conversation hard? Like, how was it navigating the logistics of that? Did you feel awkward or like a little bit of an imposter or something?
I definitely felt scared going into it, but I knew, I mean, the executive director that I was working with, I mean, there was three of us on staff, so it was just, we were all kind of tight knit, and
Yeah.
we were all, had some camaraderie. And this organization that I worked for was boots on the ground, that definitely doing the work that needed to be done, and they
Exactly.
still are. But I think also what helped is that I offered to be a consultant for them in my new business. And so they actually are one of my clients.
Awesome.
So it was honestly like a pretty seamless transition. But yeah, I was definitely very nervous going into
Oh,
it.
I love it. Well, it looks like you navigated it with ease. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so what does success look like for you now that you've kind of what doubled the amount of success that you were aiming to do in the first kind of part of this journey? Yeah.
I think now for me, I've started to build a team around me. I have a subcontractor, and she's part of the collective. She's wonderful,
Oh,
and
I
so
love
she helps me with funding strategy research, and that is just takes a huge load off of me. So I think part of that is building my team out, and also getting some more experience with state grants, federal grants, and adding that to my portfolio, so to speak.
that.
Just getting a little bit more experience under my belt and building that out.
Yay. Cool. Very neat. Well, I'm so excited to see where it goes because I'm sure you will also like over shoot that goal as well. All right. So
With the
what is
collective support, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, yay. Oh, that makes me so happy. So what has been the most challenging aspect of consulting?
I would say, building confidence in myself. I think that that was definitely something I was struggling with in the beginning. Imposter syndrome was real. And so as time went on, I kept track of my wins, I kept track of positive feedback. And so, that was definitely challenging in the beginning, and I still do deal with that personally and professionally. And so I think that that's part of it. A lot of clients, look to me for all the answers, and I've had to get comfortable with saying, I don't have, sometimes I don't have all the answers. And so I think that that's been challenging, just navigating the friction of, I don't know, but let me ask. And, sometimes most of the time I do have the answers, but there are some challenges there for sure. So I would say just navigating different nonprofits' needs. Everyone is unique, so navigating needs, having the confidence in myself to be able to meet their needs.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Meredith and I find that those are the consultants that nonprofits want to hire, right? We want a consultant that says, I'm not sure. Let me go find out, and then gets back to us in this amazing, robust way, rather than someone who gives us some answer that they might not even know is real, just because that fear is so much greater than the humbleness that it takes to say, let me find out for you. So I just love it. You are providing, like, it's just that next level of service, right? Like, you're just a great consultant, and I want to call that out. So, what has been your proudest accomplishment in this journey?
Oh gosh. Well, in recent memory, I was reflecting back on different wins that I've had with clients or that we've had collectively. And I was thinking, and I did post about this in our circle a few months ago, but I did a research project, a funding strategy for one of my clients. They are a local organization that is building a tiny home for the homeless in my community. There's going to be a few different facilities, but this will be the first one in my community ever. So it's really exciting. So in the middle of the tiny home community, there's going to be a community center. So they'll offer social services, a healthcare clinic, a mobile clinic, community kitchen, a couple different things. And they had received a good bit of funding to build the structure or to renovate the structure that was previously there. But they needed that last, $300,000 or so. They needed that last push. And so I remember walking through, getting a tour of it, mapping out a plan, and on the funding strategy, I found a family foundation here in the state of Georgia, and they didn't know about the opportunity. The client had never heard of it, and we submitted a letter of introduction per their request. And I remember the client is like, "Oh, 300,000, that's too much. Like, I don't think we can ask for that." And I'm like, "No, this is based on the research. They have the ability." And so they trusted me, and we made that big ask. And they were called back for a site visit, and so my client kind of took it from there to the finish line. But we did find out that they won that grant to build the community facility for homeless. So it's just amazing. Yeah, so definitely my biggest accomplishment so far.
I love that. And what is so neat is sometimes our work can feel so far away. But when
Yes.
that community center is built and you get to walk through that again, you get to see and touch your impact in a way
Yes.
that is really hard to do on some grants. But those
Yes.
physical building grants are super rewarding. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was definitely, the first building capacity or capital type of project that I've completed. So it was just, it's so rewarding to hear about that. And I cannot wait to walk through the facility when it's complete.
Oh, I can't wait either. And I hope you like record or take a picture of yourself so that we can all celebrate with you. Be amazing.
I have to. Hopefully, I won't be overcome with emotions.
Oh, so amazing. Okay, so complete this sentence. The Global Grant Writers Collective has helped me.
The Global Grant Writers Collective has helped me build the confidence and not only myself, but also professionally when it comes to writing grants, but also just going after the things that I want to accomplish.
Oh, I love it. Yay, that makes me so happy. Okay, so rapid fire questions. What's one word to describe your dream lifestyle?
Peaceful.
Nice. Next vacation spot.
Italy?
Ah, yay. I'm coming with. Okay, fiction or nonfiction?
Oh, sorry, what?
Oh, fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
What are you reading right now?
I'm reading Company of One by Paul Jarvis, which is nonfiction.
Awesome. And then the last TV show you binged.
Handmaid's Tale.
Nice. And have you read the book?
No, I need
Okay.
to.
Yeah, do.
Have you read it?
Yes, and I'm afraid to watch the TV show because I loved the book so much that I like have
Yeah.
to get into the right mindset of like it's gonna be different and it's okay, Alex, you know. The book
Very
is incredible.
dramatic. Very well done, but very dramatic.
Yeah. The book is also dramatic, but in a different way.
Right.
No, you should definitely add it. Okay, and then last question on the rapid fires. What's your superpower?
I would say my superpower is like being able to walk into a room and assess the vibes, like read the room, see how
Yeah,
everyone's feeling, what's going on. Like, I would say that's my superpower.
I love that. Can you do it in the virtual room too? Like, have you figured it out
No,
with Zoom? No, it's all in person.
no, it's got to be in person.
I bet you're better at it than you think you do. Okay, so I'm on my last question, but I actually want to circle back to when you were talking about imposter syndrome and that feeling that you get when you're like, "Ugh, I don't know the answer, or how am I here, or how am I making this much money?" Are there tips and tricks that you have done to help yourself overcome that more quickly? You mentioned kind of keeping a list of all of the positive feedback or your wins. I'm wondering, like, do you have that close to you? Do you revisit it? What kind of helps you to
Sometimes
do
I'll
that?
revisit it. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'll revisit that list of, positive feedback, or I'll think back to a time. But I think mostly it's remembering those times in which I didn't feel confident and but I had to navigate it.
Yeah.
There was just no way around it. I had to make that tough phone call or have that hard conversation or just, get in there and dig deep.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll reflect back onto those times and just remember, hey, you got on the other end of that
Yeah.
and it was okay. You were okay.
Yep.
So I think all of it is just mental, So I think just having that conversation with myself and saying, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. And, nobody's mad at you, So,
Exactly. Yep.
so I think that that's what's helped me the most.
Yeah, I love that. I love bringing back the like, you have done this before. You've done something hard before. You can do
Yes.
another hard thing again. Yeah.
Sometimes I just have to push myself off the ledge and say, just do it. Just pick up the phone, just do whatever it is.
Yep. Oh, I love it. Okay. So, real last question to everyone out there who's debating going after their dream, whether it be grant writing or a whole different dream, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell someone who's, wanting to pursue their dream and waiting and debating, the longer that you debate and you chew on it and you dream about it, that's lengthens the time in which it is possible to make that dream come true and to go after it. So, and I'm a list person. I'm a pro con list person. So I say make a pro cons list.
Uh huh.
If the pros outweigh the cons, sometimes you just have to go for it. And, if there's not much to lose, then you just go for it and see what happens. The worst you can do is wait around and wonder what it could be. So I would say, just go for it, especially if it makes sense for you.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. You're a girl after my own heart with the pro con list.
Yes, I love it.
We love pro con lists and decision matrix over here. Like, if it
Yes.
can't be done in a decision matrix, something's wrong, you know?
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing a part of your journey with us. It's so like heartwarming and joy-filling to watch your journey and to watch you succeed way past the goals that you're setting for yourself and to be working with a team. It's just really, really incredible. So I hope you feel the amazing amount of energy and hard work that you've put into this, and it's just paid off for you so, so well.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you for all the support and encouragement that I've had. I just really appreciate all the hands-on, like coaching and advice. Like I always feel like I can lean on this community, so it's just paid off tenfold in so many ways. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm a words of affirmation love language, so like it just, my
Me
whole
too.
day is made now.
Yes. Okay. Good.
I love it. Okay, well, thank you so much, and we'll chat soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.